Hey, what's up everybody? It's the People's Crypto. I'm back again with another video. In this video, I'm going to be discussing how scarcity creates value and how that relates to Bitcoin. But before we begin, please keep in mind that this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research and please seek out a financial advisor. All right, so let's jump right into it. All right, so scarcity creates value. Now, this is exactly what Bitcoin has. It has scarcity, and with that scarcity, it has value. It being scarce meaning that there's only 21 million Bitcoin in existence, and that creates value. Unfortunately, our current fiat system does not have that same capability. They consistently print out more and more money. If there's any hiccups in society or in the economy, their solution is just to print more and make more money. Now, this is problematic because this has been done many times in history and it always ends the same way, and that's in the failure of that fiat currency and an economic collapse. Unfortunately, it seems we're headed that direction. And it's puzzling to me that the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell doesn't know this, but I think he does know that, and I think actually that's what they're trying to do. I think the goal is to make the current fiat currency that's in existence fail. I think that's the plan. I think it's always been the plan. It's just that, unfortunately, we didn't know that. Many people still don't know that, money is essentially created out of thin air. It's not backed by gold. It's not backed by silver. It's just created. And unfortunately, the people at the very top are given fiat currency. They're given money for absolutely nothing. And we have to go to work every single day, whether you're working 9 to 5 or if you're working in construction and it's not 9 to 5, it's different hours. No matter what your occupation is, you have to work for this money that they, seemingly print out of thin air. It is completely not fair. And unfortunately, when there's hiccups in the economy, the blue collar or white collar worker isn't rewarded with these gigantic bailouts, if you will. We're given chump change. We're given this, I think recently we were given this $1,200 stimulus, which was a complete joke because they were just giving billions of dollars to these financial institutions that were being completely irresponsible with money. And that's not fair. They made mistakes. They should be allowed to fail and go bankrupt. But no, because, they're in that club, they're given all this money for absolutely nothing, and they're not going to save any jobs when they're given this money. They're going to downsize. They're going to still lay people off, and they're going to hoard all of that money, and they're going to buy all the expensive real estate. They're going to make sure that they are very well off into the future. Now, interestingly enough, when any society or country prints out large sums of money, it always ends in disaster, which is weird. You would think that, okay, maybe they shouldn't print out so much money, but they don't care. I think the plan is to actually collapse the economy and make the dollar and all fiat currencies for that matter fail. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you'd seen the Economist magazine from January 1988, which has a phoenix, a bird, standing over burning fiat currencies. And if you read the article to that magazine referencing that illustration, it basically said that they were going to usher in a new one world digital currency, interestingly enough. But here's a video that basically the Federal Reserve Chairman, Jerome Powell, says essentially that they just print out money and they can do it whenever they feel like it.
Fair to say you simply flooded the system with money.
Yes, we did. That's another way to think about it. We did.
Where does it come from? Do you just print it?
We print it digitally. So we as a central bank, we have the ability to create money digitally, and we do that by buying treasury bills or bonds or other government guaranteed securities, and that actually increases the money supply. We also print actual currency, and we distribute that through the Federal Reserve banks.
But by law, Chairman Powell's Federal Reserve can only lend money that must be paid back. Congress, he believes, should spend money to expand its historic bailout.
This ends in disaster. And here's some examples in history where, the printing of this money usually ends in disaster. But before I get into that, I will go over this paragraph real quick. It says the history of fiat money, to put it kindly, has been one of failure. In fact, every fiat currency since the Romans first began to practice in the first century has ended in devaluation and eventual collapse of not only the currency, but of the economy that housed that fiat currency as well. So there we go. We have fiat money in Rome. This one failed. Fiat money in China. This one failed. We have fiat money in France. All failed. We're next. I don't know exactly when that's going to happen. You can also find this article on dailyreckoning.com. But it's only a matter of time before we have hyperinflation because of the massive amount of printing and digital creation of money. It doesn't look good at all. The best thing you can do is put your money outside of the system, exit the current monetary system that we have. And the only way you can do that is by either buying gold or silver or buying cryptocurrencies, more specifically Bitcoin. Or you can get yourself some Ethereum or Litecoin, but ideally you should probably go after the number one coin and try to accumulate that as much as possible. Not investment advice. Please do your own research, of course. But that's probably the best strategy you can use going forward. This does not spell good whatsoever for us regular folk, unfortunately. Venezuela, same thing happened. Weimar, Germany, they failed. It just, Zimbabwe, oh my goodness. There's so many instances in history, and even most recently with those that I just named, where their currencies collapsed and failed and the economy got decimated. Unfortunately, it seems like that's what they want. They know history. These people have went to college. They know these things have occurred before, but they don't care. And they're going to do everything in their power to make sure that they're well off first. And they're going to buy up all the property. They're going to buy up all the stocks. They're going to buy, heck, even they'll try to get some Bitcoin. I'm pretty sure that they're doing it. They know what's going to happen. It would not surprise me whatsoever. However, they're not going to tell you that. They're going to, make it seem like everything is okay. And, unfortunately, when, the time comes and it's time to pay the piper, we're all going to be left holding the bag. And that bag will be filled with feces, unfortunately. And it's gonna suck. It's really gonna suck because this happens all the time. If you speak to anyone who's from Venezuela or Zimbabwe, they'll tell you firsthand that, when the currency collapses, pretty much chaos. It's almost like Mad Max. But, people, they barter. People learn from, the previous years of collapse where they would buy gold and silver. Now what people are doing is they're getting into Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, which is excellent. And you should really look into these previous historic cases where, the monetary system failed the people and the people had to unfortunately start from ground zero. Now that's where we're headed. I don't know specifically when it's going to happen here in the States or any other country for that matter, but it does happen, and it happens pretty fast. The best thing you can do, like I said, is hedge your bets, and get into things that's not tied to the system, gold, silver, Bitcoin, or any other cryptocurrencies. Obviously do your own research, but that's the best thing you could do. What makes Bitcoin so valuable is that we have a fixed supply. Now, our current fiat system, globally, there's no fixed supply. These central banks or these governments, they just print this stuff out as if it's going out of style. And ironically, it is. They will go digital, and that's their plan. They'll have digital backed government fiat, which is still garbage. It's still not good. We need fixed supply of currency or money. And there's only 2,531,812.5 Bitcoins left to be mined. Now there's only 900 new Bitcoins per day. So this is where that whole scarcity thing comes in. And this is what creates the value for Bitcoin. Now, eventually over time, Bitcoin will increase in value. You need to make sure that while I think the price right now is around 9,000, you need to really make sure that whether you're trading or dollar cost averaging, you need to get in the game. Do that as soon as possible. Obviously, not investment advice, but one should look into getting into Bitcoin sooner rather than later. I remember a friend of mine was telling me about Bitcoin some years back. It's like, hey, we should look into this Bitcoin thing. And I was like, why would the government ever allow that? And at the time, the price of Bitcoin was $200. Now, when he first told me that, it was like kind of like I would say I was hearing what he was saying, but I was like, this doesn't make sense. I'm completely kicking myself because I didn't buy at those prices. I got in a lot later. And like I completely regretted it because I would have been retired if I would have listened. Because I think I was in the stock market at the time. And which I was making a decent amount of money because we had that whole entire like bull run for like the past 10 going on 11 years now or 12 years now. But the point is I could have gotten in a lot early and I didn't. I got in a lot later, which is cool. It's fine. It is what it is. We all go through this. I'm pretty sure you're telling friends and family, hey, you should get into Bitcoin. And if they got burnt in 2017, it is what it is. So they're probably not looking to get back in ever. So, just, dollar cost average if possible, or if you're going to trade, but just be very, very careful. Obviously do your own research, as I always say. But we have a fixed supply. Our current fiat system, there's no fixed supply. So just please, please, please make sure that you're at least, maybe $5 here, $10 there, dollar cost average, whatever you can spare. I know times is tough right now, but it's going to get a lot worse. So definitely figure something out, budget, or if you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, maybe dollar cost average with them, but be very careful because if you break up, then that's a whole nother thing. But just be very, very careful when you're in this space, and just try your best to accumulate as much as you possibly can, because this is a scarce asset. We've never had anything like this before. This is essentially like digital gold on steroids. So just keep that in mind. But there's also another thing I wanted to bring to your attention, and that is something that's really, really interesting. And this was an article that was written, I think, last year in August. And it points out to, the whole scarcity creates value thing, where I'll read it real briefly. It says Bitcoin supply is running out as 85% of all coins now mined, and expert says price could soar, and it will over time, but we don't know exactly when, but it will happen. It says over 85% of the world's Bitcoins has now been gobbled up by coin-hungry cryptocurrency miners. Reports show that over 17 million of the digital currency's 21 million coins have been mined and are being traded by crypto fans. All right, it says as a result, just 3 million Bitcoin remain. CoinMarketCap reports. The news led crypto trading accountant Rhythm to warn on Twitter, scarcity is about to kick in. Bitcoin, a virtual currency traded without the use of a bank, can be used to anonymously buy a variety of items. From the right website of shops, you can buy things like Xbox games, hotel rooms. Through the coin is notorious for its use in trade of illicit goods like drugs. Okay, people buy drugs with cash. Like they really need to stop with that propaganda. People buy drugs with cash and other things as well. Like seriously, that's just BS. But so yeah, it's dwindling. So we're in 2020 from the time of making this video. 2021 is around the corner, and we have 2 more halvings in this decade. The next one is 2024, and the other halving is 2028. So as we pass each halving, what will happen is the price, not immediately, but within, I would say, 16 to 18 months from the halving, the price will increase. It will happen. Right now we're at 9,000, so I wouldn't be surprised if maybe 16 months from now we go from 9 to maybe 40,000. It's very possible. And then we might have a sharp dip back, and then we may go to like 20,000, and then we may go right back up to 40 or 60 or something ridiculous like that. But that's usually what tends to happen. It's not usually right away when the halving occurs. It's usually delayed, like at least about like 16 to 18 months after the halving, where the price will spike and go ballistic. But yeah, so scarcity creates value. Bitcoin is a scarce asset. Our current fiat system is not scarce whatsoever. The money that we have, they just print it out of thin air. Like, come on, it's losing its value. It's the complete opposite of scarcity creating value. You know, it's like an abundance of something diminishes value. Now that's what fiat is. So we have an abundance of it, and it takes away its value, and it becomes worthless. And eventually, you know, as much as people say Bitcoin's going to go to zero, fiat historically has always went to zero. So it's only a matter of time before it goes to zero, and you don't want to be caught with your pants down with a bunch of fiat, because then it'll be worth nothing. You won't even be able to buy a cup of coffee with it. It's already like that in Venezuela and Zimbabwe, and it's happened other times in history where, you know, the money is all over the floor in these different countries, and no one's bothering to pick it up. So it's really going to get insane, unfortunately, because that has never happened in this country. But unfortunately, there's a first time for everything, and we may be experiencing that sometime in the future. I hope not, but unfortunately, it looks like we will. That is going to do it for this video. But before I end it off, let's go over the cryptocurrency prices. We have Bitcoin currently right now at $9,106.17. Ethereum's at $226.86. Tether is at $1. XRP is at 18 cents. Bitcoin Cash is at $221.04. Bitcoin SV is at $153.96. We have Litecoin at $41.28. Cardano is doing actually really well. It's at 9 cents right now. We have Binance Coin, which is at $15.41. And EOS is at number 10 at $2.36. which isn't bad. Cardano's actually doing really, really good. I think I might actually scoop up some more. Because I think Shelly is going to be launching really, really soon, which is great news. They're actually meeting their deadlines with the Shelly mainnet, which is cool. I think I might actually make a video on that, and I'll do that soon. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for this video. Please like and subscribe if you're listening to this video on YouTube. If you're listening to it on Library, please share the video if you can. And also please visit the cryptocurrencyspace.com for all your Bitcoin news, prices. You can also get alerts on the website as well, videos if you missed any. And that's going to do it for this video. Thank you for listening, and have a good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. See you later.